morning, Class 8. This is the second part of our Chapter 16, Democracy and Human Rights. In this unit, 6 great humanitarians are being mentioned. These people have dedicated all their lives to fight for human rights. Today we'll get to know about the great Nelson Mandela, who was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts for the peaceful termination of the apartheid regime and for laying the foundation of a new democratic South Africa. Apartheid means apartness or separate development. In South Africa, there was a system of discrimination on the ground of races. Nelson Mandela was a black African born in 1918. He was a lawyer, politician and statesman who brought independence to the black people of South Africa. After the World War I, the government of South Africa was in the hands of white Boers. Boer is the African word used for farmers. These Boers were descendants of the early Dutch settlers who were farmers. The white Boers made the black people their slaves, even though the black people outnumbered them 4-1. After the World War II, the pressure intensified with the introduction of the policy of apartheid. Now the laws were passed forcing black people to live in settlements outside the white towns. This notice was put by the Boer government in South Africa. You can clearly understand the harsh reality the black people of South Africa were living in those days. The black people had to carry a special pass, otherwise they were arrested and banished to the poor tribal lands, or in many cases to work as slaves for white farmers. Black people were not allowed to use the same buses, trains and cafes as the whites. They didn't even have the possibility to do all skilled work, and those who were working the same jobs as whites, they were paid much less. Here comes the first set of questions for you. What does the word apartheid mean? Who were Boers? When was the law of apartheid regime passed in South Africa? And list at least 5 facts of injustice for black people caused by this law. The political situation was such that only 4 million whites could elect 165 white MPs, while 13 million blacks could choose only 3 white MPs, and even these were abolished in 1959. Black people formed their own political party, African National Congress. Nelson Mandela was the main promoter and leader of African National Congress Party. Nelson Mandela was used to tell to his people, "It is in your own hands to create a better world for all who live in it." ANC, African National Congress, was immediately banned by the white Boers government. To be a member of it meant imprisonment. Mandela and his companions were charged with treason in 1956. Treason means the crime of betraying one's country. But they were found not guilty 5 years later. Mandela kept on struggling for a free South Africa. For this reason, he made secret trips to other countries. In 1962, he went to Algeria and London. The white Boer government was seriously threatened by these activities. So, on his return to South Africa, he was arrested, charged treason, and sentenced to life imprisonment. Mandela's belief was that there is no easy walk to freedom anywhere in the world. He managed, even from the prison, to exert a great influence on the black freedom movement. As a reaction, the Boer government established more strict rules supported by the policy of apartheid. Mandela believed that the most powerful weapon is not violence, but it is talking to people. But it took several decades for the government to get his point. In fact, he remained imprisoned for 27 years, almost 3 decades. Here comes the second set of questions for you. What was the name of Black South African political party? What serious problems those people had to face who joined this party? How many years of imprisonment Mandela lived during his life imprisonment? In 1989, a more liberal president, F.W. de Klerk, was elected. He lifted the ban on the ANC, African National Congress, and released Mandela and other political prisoners. Clark abolished the apartheid law in 1992 and organized elections for 1994 with blacks able to vote in members of parliament. The result was as expected. The ANC won with the massive majority. Nelson Mandela was elected president with de Klerk as vice president. After half a century of violent oppression and cruelty, one might have expected revenge by the black people. But Mandela, who was supported by the people like Archbishop Desmond Tutu, made the transfer of power completely peaceful. The term Rainbow Nation, used by Archbishop Desmond Tutu, was the dream of Mandela, and he managed to make it a reality. Mandela resigned as president in 1999, but his influence throughout Africa and the whole world was as strong as ever. Mandela continued to support the cause of downtrodden and the poor. He died in 2013 and was mourned all across the world. My dear students, some more questions for you. Write 3 main differences in the country of South Africa before and after the independence 1994. Describe the term liberal. State 3 facts which show that F.W. de Klerk was a liberal person. Write a brief note on Nelson Mandela's life and achievements, supporting the idea that he was an outstanding leader for 20th and 21st century. There were immense problems of trying to right the previous 50 years of wrong, but slowly the conditions improved. Only a few years later, the South African proved to be a real rainbow nation. When they hosted the FIFA World Cup of 2010, it was globally admitted that even though Spain won the final, but South Africa won hearts. Now you enjoy some beautiful moments of joy and delight of South Africa and Mandela of different